This game consists of you keeping an eye. So witness as I review this movie.
Let's get started with today's movie review on Jigsaw. Before we immerse ourselves into this grotesque crime thriller, I just gotta mention a couple of things. It's not the type of movie I expected it to be, mainly because this series is known for being an over-the-top gore fest, man. So this is why I want to really give this the best review I could possibly give it. So yeah, bear with me here. Now I know the Saw series isn't a stranger to many horror fans out there, and I'll tell you this right now, it is very notorious for its many death scenes, that's for sure. It is one of those movies that you either turn away, especially in the... oh man, there's so many scenes, guys. And just so you know what I'm talking about, guys, here's a couple of clips of one of the most insanely bloody and very brutal death scenes. Now wasn't that something? One very interesting fact I actually want to point out is that the Saw series was actually placed in the Guinness World Records for being one of the most successful horror franchise, so keep that in mind, guys. And let's not forget all the big bucks all the Saw films actually brought in opening weekend, all with the exception of Saw 6. Then again, it did have some stiff competition alongside Paranormal Activity, which respectively it was an okay movie to me, to be quite honest. It wasn't necessarily scary, but it did have its moments, which that in its own was a pretty good job that they did there with that movie. But anyways, a little bit more of that later if you guys want a review for that. One of the things you have to take into account when it comes to the Saw series is it's actually more of a test of whether you can withstand looking at all the death scenes and all the traps and all that stuff, Really, that's what it is. It's more of a challenge if you're trying to stick around for the films. I mean, if you really see it that way, when you might have a friend or somebody that's probably saying, oh, you won't be able to stand this movie. And really, that's the kind of the fun part about these films, is that it makes you think. Once you're actually watching the movies, you're just like, wow, can I really keep watching this? Because I mean, that's how it was for me for the first couple of movies, but then after around 4 or 6, I was just I'm pretty much used to this. So overall, all I really look forward to when it comes to any new Saw movie is the traps, honestly. It's just crazy and very sadistic how they come up with the ideas for these traps, man. And I'm just man, the mindset you gotta have to come up with these ideas for those traps. Another thing that's very interesting too is the fact that John Kramer continues to be present in every film, even up to the new one right now. And I'm just like, are they not gonna show him anymore? But I mean, they had to make some sort of reference. Then again, he is like the main villain, and it wouldn't be the series that it is without this character, so that's something to keep in mind. Alright guys, so with most of this aside, let's get into reviewing Jigsaw now. For starters, when it comes to the revolting factor, if you will, Jigsaw is not nearly as twisted as the past installments, I'll tell you that right now. And one of the main reasons for that is because it really did try to be more story driven in a way where they try to have less nauseating scenes as possible. But then again, that might also have to do with the fact that it had two directors instead of one like the other films did. So there's that. And my guess is when you got two people directing, they're obviously gonna have their own sets of ideas, so keep that in mind as well, which one being like they wanted to be more story driven while the other one's trying to go for how do we make this trap more gory and that. So it's like a thing they probably went back and forth on, and in the end it's just like this is how the final product's gonna be, you know. Yet I know many Saw fans probably were taking a little bit off guard the fact that this movie didn't really include so much gore like the past installments did. Which, I mean, some might be like, oh, you know, it's alright. While others like, this isn't that good, but you know. But then again, having so many revolting and violent scenes can get a little bit repetitive, if you know what I mean, guys. But yeah, I really appreciate that they tried something new with this movie, other than trying to make you sick to your stomach. So to avoid spoilers here, guys, because I'm not used to spoiling anything for people, I'm just gonna tell you, the movie isn't scary, but it is like something you should probably check out if you're interested in knowing how do they further the story of John Kramer, because that's pretty crazy. And I know it's like how his presence is still relevant within the Saw series. One of the things you will really notice when you see this film for yourself is the fact that it kind of feels a bit fast-paced in a way. But then again, I think it's understandable considering it's the 8th installment. They were probably thinking, well, people already know about the Saw series, so it's like it wouldn't be a surprise at this point, so it's like might as well just go straight to the games. And that's pretty much how things went down within the film. Even though it did feel kind of like a cash grab, I gotta give credit where credit is due, guys. And by that I mean, the movie does a pretty good job at twisting most of the plot around to the point where you're just really confused. And if you haven't seen the past installments, you'll be even more confused. Because I mean, it's complicated to begin with, but not so much if you actually pay close attention to some of the details within the film. Like, you'll see right away like what I'm talking about. Just pay really close attention to most of the characters, especially the ones that seem the most innocent. So with that being said, guys, be expecting to do some mystery crime solving. Another thing about this film, it's probably gonna make you think, wow, these guys actually deserve the way they died. I know, I was like, oh my god, wow, that dude, that girl, they deserve that. And boy, do two characters die a really gruesome death within the film. It was crazy. As for the visuals and overall camera work, everything was good, so there's no problem with that. But I mean, the budget that this movie ran on, I guess it's to be expected either way. So I highly doubt there was gonna be any problems within this movie when it came to the visuals and all that. So really there was no surprise there. As for acting, I would say it was moderate at best. Obviously not award-winning material, but the characters were really fun to watch, so that's like a plus for me. So long as they can entertain, that's all I really look forward to. Another thing about the characters within the film too is that you'll probably have like a love-hate relationship with some of them. So it's like, it'll be understandable if you guys go through it watching this film. That's if you have the stomach for it, of course. But compared to the past installments, this is less gross, I'll tell you that. So it shouldn't be too bad. So all in all, I do recommend this film for those horror lovers out there, and especially if you have a strong stomach for bloody and gory violence, of course. But other than that, if you haven't actually seen a Saw film before, I wouldn't recommend you watching this one just yet until you actually seen the other ones, because then you'll really be thrown off. Mainly because the story, like I already said, it's a bit complicated, so yeah, there's that too. So in conclusion, this wasn't really one of the best horror movies, obviously. I don't really think that's what they were going for. I think they were trying to just kind of showcase that they could do a bit of storytelling, plus have a little bit of gore there. But yeah, you know, gotta try new things, I suppose. Which I'm actually glad that they did that, because it kind of draws away from just being overall repetitive when it comes to like the death scenes, which is good. It's a good step. I mean, if they're trying to like come up with a new installment for later on, which you'll be kind of surprised once the movie actually ends. So if you actually get to watch it and you'll see the ending, you'll see what I'm talking about. Alright guys, so that pretty much does it for this movie review. Also, if there's any movie or show that you guys will actually recommend for me to review on, just leave a comment in the comment section below. I would really appreciate that. Also, liking and sharing this video is much appreciated as well, guys. It really helps a lot with the channel. Also, please make sure to subscribe if you guys want to stay updated with the latest video upload. And yeah, well, now I'm actually gonna go to sleep, guys, because I'm pretty tired, and I'm just glad that I had a little bit of time to work on this video. So yeah, so all in all, thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you next time in the next video, guys. This is bye for now.
You have officially made it to the end of these games. Bye for now, for I shall return with more. Bye!